Shaytanir Rajeem. I seek refuge in Allah from Shaitan the wretched one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Raheem. I begin in the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Most Merciful. قُلْ يَا عِبَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةٌ وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Verse number 10 of Surah Zumar, Surah number 39. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, say, O my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, my servants who have brought faith, fear your Rabb. For those who do good in this dunya is a good reward. And Allah's land is vast. And the patients will be repaid with their reward without counting, without reservation. We are into Surah Zumar. We went over this verse a little bit last week, but I want to repeat it again for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ. Other than Maulana Idris Kanavi rahmatullah alayhi writes in Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la taqulu ra'ina. That Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu is an address which is only for this ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In the previous scriptures, they were never addressed with Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. They were addressed with Ya bani Israel, Ya qawm, and other wordings. But for us, Allah used Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. And this is mentioned in 88 places in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Abdul ibn Masud used to say, when you hear Allah saying Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, pay attention. Because that is some instruction which Allah is giving, or something He is prohibiting, or some advice He is giving. So act upon that. So, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, over here as well, Allah is saying, say, O Muhammad, O my servants, you have brought faith. Now go one step further and ittaqoo rabbakum. Bring taqwa in your lives as well. And taqwa we've covered many times. Fear of Allah, being constant aware of Allah all the time. Be mindful of Allah and His commands. And remember, لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا. Those who do good will have good in this dunya. Can you go? Rashid ko senda. Go. Bino. لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةٌ وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. Those who do good in this dunya will have good reward. And Allah's land is vast. Imam Qurtubi narrates from Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu that this verse was revealed regarding Ja'far ibn Abi Talib and his companions who did hijrah towards Habasha. Allah said, give them this message that lilladina, that wherever you go in the world, fear Allah, because if you do good, Allah will reward you with good. And remember, Allah's land is vast. Allah's land is vast, and Allah is there to give you reward for whatever you do. Hasana, one tafseer is sawab fil jannah. If you do good in this dunya, Allah will give you sawab in Jannah. Second tafsir is hasana fi dunya. If you do good, Allah will reward you in this dunya. Yes. And this is in another place. Allah said, "Man amila salihan min dhakarin aw untha wa huwa mu'min, falanuhyiyannahu hayatan tayyibah." If you have iman and amal salih, Allah will give you a hayat tayyibah, pleasurable life. So you do good, Allah will reward you with good. In another place, Allah said, if a mu'min, Allah's Prophet said in the hadith, if a mu'min does a good deed, then Allah gives him in this dunya, but original reward will be in the akhirat. Like you give someone sweet, toffee, ice cream, but that's not the original food. Original food is at the time of food. So, this is a little bit of starter. The original reward is in the hereafter. So, be good, and Allah will give you good in this dunya as well. And remember, وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. Allah's land is vast. Therefore, migrate in Allah's land. if you have to. Don't stay among those who are practicing evil. So at that time, the Sahaba were forced to migrate. They had no place to practice on the deen of Allah, and they left. And they went to Habasha first in the year 7 after Nubuwwat. And they stayed there for some time. They came back after rumors spread that Makkah has embraced Islam, but then they had to go back. And then finally, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam had to do hijrat to Medina Sharif. So Allah is saying, if you need to do hijrat for the sake of Allah to protect yourself from ma'asi and disobedience, then do that. I was reading this article regarding the environment we are living in. And it said that it feels like, everybody is shredded like pieces of wood. Our iman is shredded like the wood shredder, where there is a huge shredder, wood is put inside and the chips come out. So our iman is bombarded from all sides with attacks, from television, movies, films, dramas, internet, and social media, education, schools, colleges, universities, everywhere, environment, everywhere there is attack upon attack, and our iman is like in that shredder. So he said, how to get out of it? We see that people's children going murtad, and not only those who have not been educated, those who were educated, they are leaving fold of Islam. I no longer have faith in God, I no longer believe in Him, He's not there. So this type of behavior is on the increase. So the article was alarming, and it said before people used to say this problem is not intellectual problem, rather it's a spiritual problem, because the person did not practice, they never prayed namaz, and this is the case. They didn't have proper belief, they never studied deen, they never had confidence in the deen, and they never prayed salah, they never did tilawah, they never did any zikr, they were never close to Allah. That's why they left Islam. But now we see that many who did study deen in their young, maybe they became hafiz, they became alim, they studied, but still they're going out of the fold of Islam. So it's no longer a spiritual problem either. So it seems that these attacks are taking their toll on our deen iman. So the writer said, the only way out and the escape route is hijrat, migration. Meaning not migration from dunya. Where do we go? Wherever we go, there are problems around the whole world. So hijrat meaning hijrat of those who are doing that ma'asiyat. So we leave that environment, maybe change our house from one area to another area, maybe town, change the friendship, and invite them to do hijrat from the social media, hijrat from the television, hijrat from the other means of attack on iman, and bring them closer to iman. Then inshallah maybe their iman will be protected. This is what Allah is saying, that in order to protect your iman, first you need to have ittaqu rabbakum, and then secondly you need to do lilladina ahsanu ihsan, and thirdly wa ardullahi wasi'ah. If you have to leave the land, then leave that land, because Allah's land is vast. Sometimes people do migrate from one place to another, even though life over at the other place is not so luxurious, but iman is safe over there. So where our iman is safe, we should live there and try and protect our deen, our iman. Another form of protecting our iman is not permanent hijrat, temporary hijrat. And that is through going for umrah, going for hajj, going back to our homeland, country, staying with relatives. And this will instill into the minds of the young kids who we are. When we go maybe to back home, our countries, we meet our relatives, we humble ourselves, bring ourselves down to earth, then this can, bring that humility within us, and it can protect our iman. Go for umrah, hajj, we do tawaf, ziyarat, understand everything, our mind is broadened, opened up, then the iman is safe. Because if we live in a cuckoo land, and our children are always on the computer and the mobile and iPad and iPod, and in that, they're never staying away from it. There is no time limit to it. They're on there for hours and hours, late into hours at night. They're never going to learn, and they're not ever going to go off it. So we have to do hijrat from there and migrate from there and bring them closer to this side. Maybe then we can protect Iman. This is somebody khulasa of that article which came in mind over here when Allah said, وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. And so Allah's land is vast. If you have to migrate, leave it, leave.
हिजरत का जो बयान है कुरान शरीफ की पहली हदीस
हिजरत तो इसमें है।
हम जब देखते हैं इससे अंदाजा होता है कि व्हाट द पर्पस for which we are doing it. Allah knows better. Allah knows better. إلى الله ورسوله
فهجرته إلى الله ورسوله. We have to do hijrat for Allah and Rasul. Hijratul awtan is easy, but hijratul ma'asi is hard. This is why Prophet ﷺ said, "Wal muhajir man hajara ma nahallahu anhu." Or the complete muhajir is he who leaves that which Allah has prohibited. Leaving homeland is easy, going to another place, but leaving the sins is hard. This is where they come. He mentioned the story of that person who killed 99 people, and then he left his watan, and he was migrating. Allah was so happy with him because he left it for the sake of Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took him away as a wali of Allah and granted him Jannah in spite of killing 99 people. So no matter what you've done, but if you leave all that for the sake of Allah, Allah is there ready to receive you.
Quite reassuring here when he said land is vast.
ये
खुद जो पहला काफिला जो गया है हबशा को, उसमें बाद लोगों के सादत मिली कि उनकी हिजरत दो दफे हुई
हिजरतें, एक हिजरत हबशा, दूसरी हिजरत मदीना। सही है, अल्लाह ने उनको नवाजा। जी जी। अल्लाह said इन्नमा युवफ़्फ़स साबिरून अजरहुम बिग़ैरि हिसाब. Do sabr, Allah will give you behisab reward. So if you have to leave your social media and your TV and your this and your all hobbies and your sports and this and that, do sabr. And on that sabr, Allah will reward you without counting, without any reservation. So we need to drill this message into our youth that you have to do sabr, be patient, and inshallah, Allah is there for the taking. Now, Allah moves on to say, قُلْ إِنِّي أُمِرْتُ وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. That's एक तफसीर भी हमने कर दी ना कि अल्लाह की ज़मीन is vast and spread out. Another tafsir is وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ أَرْضُ الْجَنَّةِ. The land of Jannat is vast. So if you do hijrah and leave bad habits in this dunya, Jannat is there and it's vast, it's massive, it's big. And the Qurtubi mentions the ayat وَقَالُوا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي صَدَقَنَا وَعْدَهُ وَأَوْرَثَنَا الْأَرْضَ نَتَبَوَّأُ مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ حَيْثُ نَشَاءُ. وَأَوْرَثَنَا الْأَرْضَ meaning أرض الجنة. Allah gave us mirath of the land of Jannat. And the smallest Jannat will be 10 times bigger than this dunya. Imagine, smallest Jannat 10 times bigger than this dunya. How vast is Jannat? Right? So, وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. Jannat is wasi' and vast. Allah will give you that. Both tafsirs over here. إِنَّمَا يُوفَى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Do sabr, Allah will reward you without counting. قُلْ إِنِّي أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ مُخْلِصًا لَهُ الدِّينَ. Say, I have been commanded to worship Allah, making all worship sincerely for Him. وَأُمِرْتُ لِأَنْ أَكُونَ أَوَّلَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. And I have been commanded to be the first of the Muslims, believers. قُلْ إِنِّي أَخَافُ إِنْ عَصَيْتُ رَبِّي عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ. Say, I fear that if I disobeyed my Rabb, then I will incur the punishment of the great mighty day. قُلْ إِنِّي أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ مُخْلِصًا لَهُ الدِّينَ. We've covered this ikhlas at the beginning of the surah. In the verse, فَعْبُدِ اللَّهِ مُخْلِصًا لَهُ الدِّينَ أَلَا لِلَّهِ الدِّينُ الْخَالِصُ. So we have to always worship Allah with sincerity. Sometimes we lack this sincerity. We tend to show off with our worships. So there should be no showing off. There should be ikhlas and sincerity in ibadat. May Allah give us ikhlas. And this ikhlas in hijrat as well. Because above hijrat is indicated that you have iman, you have taqwa, you do good, and you do hijrat, then that all things should be for Allah alone. If anyone else comes in between, you do it to show off over someone else, like لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا بِامْرَأَةٍ يَنْكِحُهَا فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. So don't do that. Do everything for Allah. And وَأُمِرْتُ لِأَنْ أَكُونَ أَوَّلَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. I have been told to be the first of Muslims. first of Muslims, meaning min hadhil ummah, first among the Muslims of this ummah. Because previous generations had good people, they were all Muslims too. Because Islam means to submit to the will of Allah. They submitted wholeheartedly. But from this ummah, first Muslim is our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Qurtubi writes that is how he was. Because he was the first to oppose the deen of his forefathers, idol worshipping. He was the first to abandon the asnam, idols. And he was the first to submit to the will of Allah and to believe in Allah and to invite other people towards Allah. Therefore, our Prophet ﷺ is the first Muslim. And Abu Bakr and Khadija and Zayd ibn Thabit and Ali ibn Abi Talib and everyone, Zayd ibn Haritha, Ali ibn Abi Talib and everyone come after him. The first Muslim is our Prophet ﷺ himself. Like he said, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ بِذَلِكَ أُمِرْتُ وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. I am the first Muslim. Musa alayhi salam said as well. Musa alayhi salam said, where فَلَمَّا تَجَلَّى رَبُّهُ لِلْجَبَلِ جَعَلَهُ دَكًّا وَخَرَّ مُوسَى صَعِقًا فَلَمَّا أَفَاقَ قَالَ سُبْحَانَكَ تُبْتُ إِلَيْكَ وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So over there as well, Payghambar is the first among his ummah to believe and to submit. So I have been told to be the first among the Muslims. So Prophet ﷺ submitted himself. He prayed 5 times a day. He prayed tahajjud. He gave sadaqah, khairat, zakat. He fasted throughout the month of Ramadan. He performed hajj. He avoided everything that needed to be avoided. He is the first Muslim. And we are followers of him. So declare this, O my beloved, that you are the first among those who submit to Allah. उसमें भी है إذ قال له ربه أسلم قال أسلمت لرب العالمين. सही है. इस्लाम की सिफत सब में थी, लेकिन नाम जो है अल्लाह ने हमारे लिए रिजर्व रखा. अल्लाह ने दूसरों को नाम नहीं दिया, नाम हमको दिया. तो इसके लिए फरमाया वाना अव्वलुल मुस्लिमीन. कुल इन्नी अखाफु इन असैतु रब्बी अज़ाब यौमिन अज़ीम. Say, indeed I fear punishment of the mighty day if I was to disobey my Rabb. Azab yawmin azim, and azab yawm al-qiyamah. Qurtubi writes that Prophet ﷺ had to say this when his people invited him to his abai deen, the deen of his forefathers, that you come and join us. In fact, in one place they say, "O Muhammad, you worship our gods one day and we will worship your God the other day." So Prophet ﷺ had to say, "Lakum deenukum waliya deen." For you is your deen, for me is my deen. So over here as well, Allah is saying that, how can I worship your Rabb? That is shirk, that is ma'siyat. And if I did ma'siyat and if I sinned, then I would incur the punishment of the mighty day, which is the day of Qiyamah. This hadith is also this verse is among those verses which indicate towards ismati anbiya, that anbiya are ma'soom, they can never sin. Because they fear the punishment of the mighty day. How can they sin? They have Allah at the back of their minds 24/7. They have muraqabah of Allah. They are in the presence of Allah all the time. They can't disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, inni akhafu in asaytu rabbi azab yawmin asim. Qulillah a'budu mukhlisan lahu dini. Say, it is Allah that I worship, making my worship sincerely for Him. فَاعْبُدُوا مَا شِئْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ. So, worship whatever you wish besides Him. This is my habit and my attitude and my manner, my way of life. I worship with sincerity. You can worship whosoever you want. Now, the mushrikeen used to worship Allah as well, but without sincerity. They used to worship other gods and goddesses as well. Nasara worship God as well, but they are not sincere in that worship. They worship Holy Christ and Jesus and the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit as well. So there is no sincerity in their worship. So what is needed is sincerity, exclusively, only Allah, nobody else. I worship Allah alone, nobody else. You can worship whoever you like. However, remember, قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَاعْبُدُوا مَا شِئْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ. Some say that this is for tahdeed, warning, threaten. You worship whoever you like, Allah is going to take care of you. Others say فَاعْبُدُوا مَا شِئْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ. Number 2 is not for tahdeed, just an instruction. However, this was before the other verses came in which our Prophet ﷺ was instructed to go out in the path of Allah and engage in battle until people begin to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because this verse is Makki. And in Makkah Mukarramah for 13 years the instruction was fa'fu wasfahu hatta ya'ti Allahu bi amrihi. And battle was not allowed. And it was permitted in Medina Munawwara. So later on, أُذِنَ لِلَّذِينَ يُقَاتَلُونَ بِأَنَّهُمْ ظُلِمُوا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى نَصْرِهِمْ لَقَدِيرٌ كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ. So this verse is before that. So this does not mean that now the mushrikeen have the green light to worship whoever they want. This was from before. So it's mansukh with the ayatul sayf and ayatul qital. قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَ. But the first tafsir is rajih, meaning this is a warning. And tahdeed. Why warning? Because read what's after it. What's after it? قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Indeed, the losers are those who have lost themselves and their families on the day of Qiyamah. Who put themselves to a loss on the day of Qiyamah. Lo, that is al-khusran al-mubin. That is the evident and the clear loss. You see the warning there? Meaning if you worship others, then you will have lost. You will be among the losers. If you read La ikraha fi din, there is no compulsion in religion. What is after that? قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ الرُّشْدُ مِنَ الْغِيِّ. That Hidayat has separated from Dalalat. So guidance and error are both clear. So what does that mean? That there is no compulsion, but you have to remember there is guidance and misguidance. So follow the guidance and avoid the misguidance. Don't go astray. This is why after it, also in another place, in Surah Al-Kahf, فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. But what is after that? إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ نَارًا أَحَاطَ بِهِمْ سُرَادِقُهَا. So there is warning after it. That means this amr of فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ فَاعْبُدُوا مَا شِئْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ is a warning. Don't do it. Otherwise you will be losers. You will lose on the day of Qiyamah. So, إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Those who have lost themselves and their families on the day of Qiyamah. Qurtubi narrates from Ibn Abbas, ليس من أحد إلا وخلق الله له زوجة في الجنة فإذا دخل النار خسر نفسه وأهله. There is no human being but Allah has created for him a mate, a partner in Jannah. So if he goes to Jahannam, he loses that Jannat as well and he loses that partner who is in as well. This is khasira nafsahu wa ahlahu. He lost his himself and his family as well. What he was supposed to take from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's lost it all. So, and this is why there is a hadith which says, on the day of Qiyamah, when a believer goes into Jannah, he will get miras, inheritance. Inheritance of Jannat of a disbeliever from the Yahud or Nasara. So he will get his own Jannat as well and he will inherit that Yahudi or Nasrani's Jannat as well. He will get double Jannat. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. Double Jannat will be given to him. One his own and one which he inherited because that non-Muslim, that mushrik, he went into Jahannam, so his Jannat was empty. Allah said you can take his Jannat as well. He will be given double Jannah. This is خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. If you worship others, then you will lose on the day of Qiyamah. You lose yourself as well and your family as well. Everything will go. This is أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. And then Allah mentions some condition of Jahannam. لَهُمْ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ غُلَلٌ مِنَ النَّارِ وَمِنْ تَحْتِهِمْ غُلَلٌ ذَلِكَ يُخَوِّفُ اللَّهُ بِهِ عِبَادَهُ يَا عِبَادِ فَاتَّقُونَ. They, the disbelievers, Mushrikeen who go in the fire will have flames of clouds above them and flames beneath them. It is with these things, meaning these types of punishments, that Allah warns His bondsman, O my bondsman, fear me. Allah bachai, Allah bachai, Allah bachai. Allah is saying, لَهُمْ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ ظُلَلٌ مِنَ النَّارِ وَمِنْ تَحْتِهِمْ ظُلَلٌ. In another place Allah said, لَهُمْ مِنْ جَهَنَّمَ مِهَادٌ وَمِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ غَوَاشٌ وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الظَّالِمِينَ. Allah said in another place, يَوْمَ يَغْشَاهُمُ الْعَذَابُ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ وَمِنْ تَحْتِ أَرْجُلِهِمْ وَيَقُولُ ذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Azab will be beneath them and above them. Flames will be above them, beneath them as well. They will be engulfed in the flames, in the fire of Jahannam. May Allah protect. Allah is saying, يُخَوِّفُ اللَّهُ بِهِ عِبَادَهُ. Allah is warning you. Allah is trying to generate fear in you, O people. So fear Allah. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, our society has become fearless. We need to be fearful. Fear of Allah. Don't become fearless. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is saying, Ya ibadi fattaqoon, yukhawifu Allah bihi ibadahu. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. So khawf of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is imperative. It's necessary. So, inshallah, namaz पढ़ लेंगे. अजान हो रही है, हम तो यही मस्जिद में ही बैठे हैं, नमाज के लिए तैयारी है. अजान का जवाब देना ये मुस्तहब है. नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम गुजर रहे थे, एक चरवाहा ने अजान शुरू की तो हुजूर ने फरमाया अलल फितरा, ये इंसान फितरत पर, यानी अजान का जवाब नहीं दिया, हुजूर ने अलल फितरा फरमाया. जवाब देना वाजिब नहीं है, फर्ज नहीं है. हम अपना काम कर रहे हों, कुरान शरीफ पढ़ रहे हों और अजान शुरू हो जाए तो कुरान शरीफ की तिलावत जारी रख सकते हैं. फुक़हा ने ये मसला लिखा है, इसलिए मैं जल्दी पूरा कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि अभी 2 मिनट में मस्जिद में जाना है, नमाज पढ़नी है. फरमाया वल्लज़ीना इज्तनबू त्ताग़ूत अन यअबुदूहा व अनाबू इलल्लाहि लहुमुल बुश्रा फबश्शिर इबाद अल्लज़ीना यस्तमिऊना अल-क़ौल फयत्तबिऊना अहसनह उलाइका अल्लज़ीना हदाहुमुल्लाह व उलाइका हुमुल अल्बाब. As for those who refrained from Taghut, meaning from its worship, and turned towards their Rabb, then for them is good news, glad tidings. So give the good news to my bondsmen. Which bondsmen? الَّذِينَ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقَوْلَ فَيَتَّبِعُونَ أَحْسَنَهُ. Who listen attentively to the speech, to the words of Allah and His Rasul, and then follow the most beautiful words of it. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ هَدَاهُمُ اللَّهُ. They are the ones whom Allah has guided. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. And they are the men of intelligence, wisdom. وَالَّذِينَ اجْتَنَبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ أَن يَعْبُدُوهَا. Those who refrain from Taghut, meaning from its worship. Who is Taghut? Mujahid and Ibn Zayd say huwa shaitan. Dhahhak and Suddi say huwa al-awthan. Number 3, some say innahu al-kahin, soothsayers, because at that time people used to go to soothsayers and believe in whatever they said. Taghut is either a non-Arabic name or an Arabic name. If it's non-Arabic name, then it's like Talut, Jalut, Harut, Marut. But if it's an Arabic name, then it's taken from Tughyan. Tughyan means sarkashi, rebellion. So Taghut means one who is the most rebellion and who causes rebellion, who causes people to rebel against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that will include shaitan, it will include idols, and it will include the leaders of the kufr and shirk as well. Like in Quran, in one place Allah said, يُرِيدُونَ أَن يَتَحَاكَمُوا إِلَى الطَّاغُوتِ وَقَدْ أُمِرُوا أَن يَكْفُرُوا بِهِ. And over there by Taghut, Allah meant, Allah was indicating towards Ka'b ibn Ashraf, who was like Fir'aun, إِنَّهُ طَغَى. He had gone, exceeded the limits. So Allah said, those who refrain and stay away from idols, from Satan, from devil worship, and from these leaders, understand their schemes and how they are misleading people, and stay away from them and don't worship them, and وَأَنَابُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ, and they ruju ila Allah, they turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then فَبَشِّرْ عِبَادِ. فَلَهُمُ الْبُشْرَى. For them is good news, give them the good news. give good news to my slaves, my servants. Allah said, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ. Over here, Allah is saying, وَبَشِّرْ عِبَادِي. Give good news to my slaves, my servants. Which slaves? الَّذِينَ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقَوْلِ فَيَتَّبِعُونَ أَحْسَنَهُ. Those who listen to the beautiful words and follow the most beautiful among them. يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقَوْلَ فَيَتَّبِعُونَ أَحْسَنَهُ. Ibn Abbas said that يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْحَسَنَ وَالْقَبِيحِ فَيَتَحَدَّثُونَ بِالْحَسَنِ. That they hear nice words as well and bad words as well, but they only narrate the nice words and they leave the bad words. You have to use your understanding. People do say bad stuff to us as well and good stuff as well. But we shouldn't just copy everything and narrate everything forward. We should use our brains and we should only narrate to others what is good and what is beneficial to the others and to the society as well. Number 2, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu says, يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقُرْآنِ وَأَقْوَالَ الرَّسُولِ sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They hear Quran and Ahadith Sharifa and فَيَتَّبِعُونَ أَحْسَنَهُ يعني مُحْكَمَهُ فَيَعْمَلُونَ بِهِ. They follow and practice on whatever they hear from Quran and Hadith. And number Qurtubi also narrates يَسْتَمِعُونَ عَزْمًا وَتَرْخِيصًا فَيَأْخُذُونَ بِالْعَزْمِ دُونَ التَّرْخِيصِ. That they hear some leeways and flexibilities as well, but some strict instructions as well. But they follow the strict instruction. They don't look for loopholes and find ways out of whatever they are being told. Anyway, Allah is saying they hear everything, but they follow the most beautiful words. These are the people whom Allah has guided, and they are men of intelligence and wisdom. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving good news to such people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from among them who listen to everything and follow the most beautiful. Allah said, فَخُذْهَا بِقُوَّةٍ وَأْمُرْ قَوْمَكَ يَأْخُذُوا بِأَحْسَنِهَا سَأُرِيكُمْ دَارَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. Tell people to follow the most beautiful ahkam of Tawrat. So most beautiful ahkam and guidance which is provided in the Quran, which is provided in the Hadith. Listen to Allah, listen to His Rasul, listen to the ulama and sulaha and mashayikh who convey the message of Allah and His Rasul and follow it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you good news and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with you. So I think we will close over here because salah time is qareeb. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala एक और आयत पढ़ लेते हैं अफ़मन हक़्क़ अलैहि कलिमतुल अज़ाब अफ़अन्त तुनक़िज़ु मन फ़िन्नार. Is the one against whom the decree for punishment has been passed. Can you rescue the one who is already in the fire? Allah Ta'ala is saying that those who abstain from Taghut and worship Allah, turn to Allah, are they better, or is that person better upon whom Kalimatul Azab is established? Who is Allah indicating towards? Qurtubi says, such people upon whom shaqawat and wretchedness and deprivation and mahrumi was established. Ibn Abbas says, Yuridu Aba Lahabin wa waladahu. Indication is towards Abu Lahab and his sons. That these are the people upon whom Allah's word is established now. There is no possibility of them turning to Allah. They have rebelled and Allah's word is established upon them. So, oh my beloved Muhammad, can you save the one who's already in the fire? No, you can't. So don't be so eager. Prophet ﷺ was very eager. He wanted the whole world to embrace Islam. And he was working his socks off tirelessly. So Allah said, I know your eagerness, but don't destroy yourself. Don't go into tension. Do whatever you can with ease. Those upon whom Allah's word is already established, you can't save them. They are already in the fire. Forget them. Work on those who for whom there is possibility of turning to Allah, who can turn to Allah, understand, who have wisdom, intelligence, and that will benefit them. After this, Allah mentions, لَكِنِ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا رَبَّهُم, because Allah mentioned about لَهُم مِّن فَوْقِهِمْ ظُلَلٌ. For those in Jahannam will have flames of fire. So what will the muttaqeen get? Allah is mentioning ghurafun, the gardens of Jannah, the mansions of Jannah. So we will read that in the next lesson next week, inshallah.
अल्लाहु वलियुल लज़ीना आमनू,
जी
उसमें भी ताक़ूत का जिक्र आता है।
ताक़ूत है जी,
अल्लाह के फ्रेंड हैं
जी
दे आर उलाई अपनी